between something that we shouldn't even be in the middle of.
Yep, very true. So, yeah, I mean, you know, just keep it simple and, you know, but accurate to what we need.
Okay, I can start with, neighboring towns
Yep.
for,
Yeah, get your HR
Copies.
administrator on this. Funny guy, right?
Where's that person
yeah,
sitting?
yeah, we're
Right
gonna
next
work,
door.
we're gonna work on that next,
The invisible.
next budget
Yeah.
season, try to get something in the works for that, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to. I think that's part of the budget discussion.
To what, to get an HR person? I'm all for it.
Well, I mean, well, not just that, but I mean,
I'll
it's
look at-
obviously, I think it's safe to say that, you know,
No, HR is such a big thing too,
It
it
is.
really is.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that we've been
encompassing.
able to function as a town without an HR person. Or a
But we're
job
not
or
really
title.
that large, I
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah,
We don't have that
No, we
number
don't.
of employees,
How many
Yeah.
don't
you
really?
know, that makes it a
Or-
position dedicating someone to.
yeah, it's how to
To
keep
be
that,
all
that
honest.
single titled person or job description busy enough.
You don't.
Yeah, but how does the police department manage, and the fire, how do they manage their personnel? You know,
well, they're all volunteers in the fire department for
I
the
don't
most
know,
part,
for
so,
the most part, they're not the police.
the police aren't.
No. So where's their policy for
For HR,
HR?
Well, there's, should be ours.
they
We're all-
follow on
Well,
their.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
following this?
The
Yeah.
only thing that they should, I mean, the only difference between them and us is the fact that, you know, they keep some things confidential because of with the type of
Right,
work they're doing.
security, right.
But I mean, as far as the employee part of it, it's all part and parcel of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alright.
And they should be following this plan here. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you put in there is, you know, like your rates, like if your police or fire, you know, have a work in different schedules, that's the kind of stuff you put in the personnel plan, you
Mhm.
know. They say the policy and stuff, they should be standalone policies and you reference them or, you know, and attach them as an addendum so that they reference right in there and say, hey, see it, appendix
See it,
A,
yeah.
appendix B for this policy.
Mhm.
So they're part of it, as in the book that employees receive, but they're not part of the plan itself.
Yeah.
They're referenced in it.
Yeah.
And that's just, they say, everything I've seen over the years, it makes it cleaner that way too, it doesn't get everything all messed up with all mumbo jumbo legal stuff.
Yeah.
Leave that to the policy. But,
Because I was gonna say, if someone would need an HR person,
Mhm.
it would be the school.
yeah, I'm sure they
Yeah.
have one too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they usually
Well, they probably
that.
get SAU to cover them.
Yeah.
Yep,
They do.
I mean, cause then you're dealing with insurances, you're dealing with
Mhm.
the whole myriad of
Right.
things, and we don't have that
Mhm.
here where we have that
Right.
number of people involved.
But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, we could have an administrative assistant to like Lean, that in part of their functions are HR functions. And it separates it from her,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, where
Yeah.
she's a supervisor of a number of different people. So,
What do you mean when you're saying HR?
human
Human
resources.
resources.
I'm not used to the lingo yet.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, like when you worked someplace, I mean, you must have had an HR person that, you know, you went to see and sign all your paperwork when you first started.
Too long ago, I don't remember.
I've actually already started implementing that the packets and all the
Mhm.
forms that that are
Mhm.
required for new hire employees. I've delegated it to Joe Marie so that we can make sure that the packets we hand out are complete.
Absolutely.
And that's part of one of the duties, but then also that person would be the same person that would manage the files to make
Yep.
sure that they're secure, do the, upload entries to, Primex for workers'
Yep.
comp related injuries, and then it just
Mhm.
keeps it separate from the,
Right.
internal eyes of the
Mhm.
different employees. within
Oh,
the
absolutely.
town,
Absolutely.
including myself, you know.
Mhm. Don't disagree with that. Something to think about when we do the budget.
Okay.
Alrighty, I know we got the draft here of the.
Yeah. Tom
So-
hasn't had a chance to review it somewhat, so,
You wanna review that, I think? This is the
Didn't
most
we
recent,
have
this is the
some
most recent
something?
draft.
yeah,
Yeah.
The only thing that's highlighted, I think, you know, Lean can fix it is, you know, figure this stuff out here on this still yellow
That,
always.
that I'd have to go over with Woody, find
Right,
out what that means.
other than that, we've already, Bob and I looked at it and think we're pretty much there, but we'll get a chance to take a look at it.
Alright.
I'm still working on the attendant one. I started it, but I haven't got it there yet.
Yeah,
Everybody seemed to like the, more of the condensed format
Yeah,
here.
this is pretty condensed though, I like that. 3 pages, perfect.
It actually looks fairly well, I just
Mhm.
would like to hear what the supervisor of that department has
Mhm.
for input,
Yeah.
and
Oh, and he's
from the most part, it looks okay. I don't know, I don't see any problems.
Well, this
but-
is, I think this is gonna probably stay draft until he's back
Yeah.
on full duty.
It's, but it looks pretty well, and
Yeah.
that's what you've done, you've condensed it so that there's, more than one item. It's in a paragraph that addresses some of the concerns, so
Yep.
it isn't laid out 6 pages or
Mhm.
7
yeah,
pages.
the, part-time position attendant, or transfer station attendant gets pretty detailed with all the,
Right.
physical requirements, which, if you look at older ones, they're not there, so,
I promise I'll get it done,
okay.
so. Other than that,
And then I'll probably,
any question, Woody? Shoot.
I was reading through this, the 3rd paragraph down on the first page, it says Office of State Planning. What is that? I'm not familiar with it, so I was just curious what it was.
oh, is that something that,
I don't know.
cause you work directly with DES, or,
Here's the answer report. Okay, I took that off the original, job description. So this is Department of Environmental Service and Office of State Planning. I assume that there's some type of reporting that goes on there.
I have no idea. That's why I was asking, I thought maybe
Yep.
you know, I have no idea what they are.
Again, I came off the old,
Cause any documentation that I have state-wise goes right to DES.
it may be a holdover from way back when before DS really became.
yeah, it is on the old one,
Is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
number 15.
I just didn't know what it was, so I was like.
And various recycling groups, so it might have been,
Mhm.
Something that was in place back in the day.
yeah,
Various recycling groups could have been the town recycling group, it could be,
Could be anybody.
ARRA, whatever,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, why don't we just confirm that there is no Office of State Planning in your?
Actually, I think there
Or-
is.
or
though.
if-
But they may not do anything with it.
Or if he's not familiar with it, cause it's not being done,
Mhm.
just add in there, Office State Planning if necessary.
Mhm.
Yeah, or as
So that if they
something.
send something that has to be done. you're
Yeah, I
not
just
here.
didn't know what they were. I
No.
hadn't even heard of them.
it's
so-
funny, cause it's in this old one.
I think it may be a holdover from ages gone by when, because DES
Yeah.
really didn't come into fruition here until, about 25 years ago. So before that,
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know what they were, so I was figuring why
Right.
I asked.
so, I mean,
Or
that's,
it's required or
yeah, that's all
something
part of
like
the
that.
thing, when you come back to full duty, and that way you and Lean can meet and you actually work through this and, by, hopefully mutual agreement will come to a final. And, if there's nothing on here that, you do with state planning and we double check, make sure there's something they require of us, scratch it off.
Get it out,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And I think the
That's
other
That's all
last,
the reviewing it.
the other last question you had was the way master's license, level 1 and or, I don't understand that
Level
paragraph
three.
there.
Well, no, because it had both that you had to have certification as a New Hampshire solid waste facility operator level 1, and then later on that old paragraph, that old job description
Yeah.
said you had to have solid waste facility advanced operator certification level 3.
Yep,
Do you have to have both or one? I mean, what about 2? I mean, is there 2 in between?
We actually will have to revamp that whole thing, cause the state revamped that a few years
Right.
back.
And that's the whole idea of looking at these things once a year with you when you do a performance evaluation, is to make sure things have changed. You can say, hey, well, PS changed this,
Right,
that,
they've recently
we can update them once a
changed
year.
everything, so.
okay,
Right, but like I said, when you come back full-time and you're good to go, the doctor releases you, then, you two can sit down and, then when it's all said and done, then we can approve it and go from there. That sound reasonable?
Yes, I did, like I said, I was reading it, I didn't know what that meant, so I figured I'd ask somebody who might know what it meant.
I mean, I know what the off-state plan is, but I mean, and it still exists, I believe it does, last I knew it still exists, it's on Pleasant Street campus. But, what you would do with them, I have no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know either, so
Oh,
we gotta ask.
okay.
That makes two of us. Alrighty, well, that's the last of the, so let's hit the, mailbox. John Stevens here has a, email to us regarding the energy fair and a donation, and I have to say I'm a little confused on it, the way he wrote this out. I'll let you guys read it and pass it this way, and we can discuss it.
If you start at the bottom, there's a vendor that was at the
Mhm.
energy fair that's approached them
Sunray,
and said they would like to make a donation.
to whom?
That's the question, does it go to the town? He's asking, can the energy fair, actually, there's a transition
Okay,
group?
and I'm
Transition.
familiar with what happened here.
Oh, okay,
Is they wanna contribute to make sure that the Energy Fair does it again on 2017 or 2018 or
okay.
whatever. So they wanted to make a contribution for their continuity, but they didn't know who to make the check out to.
Okay,
Well, we have an energy committee, and aren't they the ones that book the energy fair on our behalf?
is it the energy,
Yeah.
I thought it was the energy committee.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause I
that's
know
the
it's-
Energy Committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause he's mentioned a transition group here, and they're not a town committee, so.
Right, because the energy committee does have a checkbook
Mhm.
Right,
where they can, funds donated or collected can be deposited in there and they can utilize it for, services to the public,
Why
the
do they
rest.
have a checkbook? I thought we were trying to get rid of them.
Well, it's a checking statement, we don't write checks on it, we're trying to process those checks
I
through
mean,
our
yeah,
office.
So we basically have a fund set, like a capital reserve.
Yeah, it's only
set.
got $850 that
Right.
they got
Okay.
donations for, but they can utilize that
Mm-hmm.
to buy, heat sensing
Yep.
sensors, be able to provide a service by
Mm-hmm.
inspecting people's homes if
Yep.
they're interested in doing that, and then they would have the funds to,
Put on their energy fair.
yeah.
well,
No,
this
fine
came up at the Energy Committee's meeting,
Okay,
but I'm looking at this now and it does say transition group.
yeah, I think
So I
it's,
don't know if it's a transition group that had the Energy Fair,
oh, okay,
I don't know
I
either.
don't either.
Nor do I.
okay? I know I helped them set up, but I don't remember who was there. There was a mixture of different people that I don't see at, on the Energy Committee. So I don't know who's doing what,
So we need clarification.
Can you research that further for us, since you're part of that group?
Yeah, actually, I can bring it up at the next Energy Fair meeting.
Do you wanna bring,
Yeah,
take
Energy
it?
Fair.
Do you wanna take that? I have it in my inbox, but you can take that, so
It's
you
just
don't
an
be on
energy
one.
fair email.
Yeah.
I guess.
I just don't.
That's two things I gotta talk to them about, the lights at the
Mhm.
Public Works building and that.
Yep.
And actually, you may get it before then, I'll see John Stevens next Friday,
Okay.
not tomorrow, but next
Mhm.
week.
Okay,
Have the men's coffee,
yeah,
he's always there, so I can pinpoint him as to what he's referring to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know she's got enough on her plate, running around like a chicken.
Yeah,
but,
no, I can take care of that.
I know we talked about the lights last week, so I kinda figured that'd be right up your alley.
Which lights are
Yeah.
you talking about?
They did can,
Yeah.
send it this way for,
Oh, sure. It's the old, the lights that used to be in the community center?
Yep.
They ended up being hung at the Public Works building,
Oh,
yeah,
and, Lean made a comment that they're expensive to run when they're on.
yeah,
So I figured I'd bring this before John Stevens and the Energy Committee, see if there's any grants or anything, and what else could be done there,
right.
cause you may get a payback in a short period of time then.
yeah, these
Absolutely.
have proven to be very, a very good investment.
Well, especially if they can hook it up to a sensor,
Mhm.
so that these guys are jumping in and out of a truck.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So instead of getting out of the truck, going over and shutting the switch, and then taking off, and then coming back and turning on the switch.
or that we'll run out the door and leave it once they got screw
Right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
plowing all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they come back and the lights are still humming.
LEDs have come a long way with it. They've got LEDs that are, set up just just like this, you know, strips, you know, they work really well.
Mhm.
A little more expensive in the beginning, but they are very good for you. Wanna put your John Hancock on that? Sure. And then, but, you know, running them would cost you next to nothing, the return on it is fabulous. Alrighty, next we have a NHMA letter here. It says they enclose 2 publications as part of our membership. One is the 2017 important dates calendar, which we hang up in there and usually make a calendar for us.
Yep.
Use that as a reverse calendar for all the stuff we gotta take and do for tax settings and stuff.
Yep, deadlines for
Deadlines.
public notices
And then they also gave us a publication here, is the state aid to the municipalities, a history and trends. Because as we know that the legislature has classically have cut their support for the towns, and it's been on the backs of us taxpayers to cover that stuff that we need to do. So, if you guys wanna read them or whatnot,
You're welcome to take it home and read it if you need to. The calendar, I'll make copies for you. But
You know, if you make a copy, and I'll swing by and pick it up.
okay, yep. Do that.
real quick.
Yeah, it's just easier if I can get them copied.
We'll get it to you.
It's alright, here all night.
I hope not. All goes well, I hope to be getting home and get the bid. I got 2 interviews to do tomorrow.
Do you?
Hopefully hire my vacant position. And then I get to get off and go hopefully play with my grandson.
Cool.
But he's born yet.
Oh,
Still waiting. Now,
Still
Still waiting?
wow.
they're supposed to induce her today, but there's no beds. They've been too busy. They've called her like 3 times from the hospital saying, no room in the inn.
For
So-
real, they can stop you from going to the hospital?
Well, she's overdue. They gotta induce her.
Oh,
So she's waiting for that. You know, hopefully tomorrow they'll get her in the morning and
that's
by
pretty
afternoon, it'd be nice to have a grandson. Yeah, she's not happy. Oh well. That my wife was 2 weeks overdue with all our kids, so she's got nothing to complain about being a week.
Me too. Both of them.
Alright, go around the table. I think we exhausted just about everything else. Lean, you got anything to go to order?
Nope, waiting for Department of Revenue and trying to get everything else caught up, so.
Everything going okay with, you said there was a baler down?
Yeah, I think Woody contacted me and one of the guys called and said that, the paper baler was down. So you got somebody coming in to look at the motor or find out if it's electrical related or the motor.
Now, we have what, single phase down there or 3-phase?
Single.
Single, it's a 3-phase motor, right? Yeah,
That's single phase motor.
okay.
2 of the newest baler and the oldest baler are 3-phase.
So you
There's a
got 2 power on.
VFD that runs those 2.
Yep.
The 2 middle balers,
Mhm.
the plastic and the paper, are single phase. I think they're 10-horse motors. Those are both single phase balers.
They don't have variable frequency starters, do they?
Not for those because they're single phase.
Yeah.
Their variable frequency drive runs your 3-phase,
Yeah.
just like the compactor.
Mhm.
There's no 3-phase down there, so we
Right.
have to make it.
Right. yeah,
There's a
yeah.
variable frequency drive that runs a compactor.
Mhm.
There's also one that runs 2 balers, and then the other 2 balers are single phase. Eventually, if we replace them, those balers, then you would change them to 3-phase and put a VFD in
Mhm.
for each baler. The only reason we didn't do it for the last 2 balers, one is because there's 2 balers, they're not typically gonna be run at the same time.
Right.
You know, cardboard's in one and rigid plastics in the other.
Mhm.
And you produce more cardboard than you do rigid, so the chances of 2 of them running at the same time weren't that great, so that's why we lumped them together.
Mhm.
One VFD can run it, you
Yep.
just can't run them at the same time.
Gotcha.
My guess, experience with those balers, it's either, there's 4 capacitors that
Mhm.
run the single phase motor.
Yep.
If I'm correct, there's 2 startup and 2 run capacitors.
Mhm.
The way it was described to me,
Mhm.
it sounds like it's capacitors.
Could
But
be.
then when they talked to me, I talked to them yesterday again,
Mhm.
no, it happened yesterday, talked to him again today about it.
Mhm.
It sounds like it might be more of a motor issue, but I contacted the electrician last night. He's gonna come out, take a look at it. He's gonna try and get there tomorrow. If he can't, it's gonna be next week. You're gonna be down a week regardless.
Oh,
You're gonna be a week,
Yeah.
anyways, at a minimum.
well, you got other compactors that you can switch stuff out.
Basically, right now, as busy as those guys are,
Mhm.
they don't have time to switch things out. What we're gonna do, for now,
Mhm.
is they're gonna palletize it and pre-sort the paper, and it'll go in boxes,
Mhm.
and we'll put it aside until, they're just busy enough now, they do not have the time
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
pull one and load one, and, you know what, for now, put the boxes aside and we'll deal with it when the time comes. And, you know, it's not gonna hurt nothing.
It won't go bad.
Yeah, it's not gonna spoil.
Yeah. Unless it's left out in the rain or something.
Yeah, it'll be inside, so.
Well, you definitely get your weight there.
And we're slowly but surely shipping loads out, cause we're at a point right now where we're tight on space,
Mhm.
extremely tight.
Mm.
You know, we're looking at one more week and then something serious is gonna have to happen. It can't get trucks,
Mhm.
that's the issue. I'm actually gonna step out on my own and contact vendors myself.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, and I'm gonna contact the NRA, but for whatever reason, we have a tough time, not just me, all towns for the most part have a tough time moving products through them.
Really?
Their plastics are the big one. Paper and cardboard's like a breeze, the other stuff's a breeze, but plastic seems to be the issue. You know, in talking to other towns, we're not alone, it's not what we're making,
Mhm.
you know, they're making other stuff and they're having issues with it. So we need to,
Yeah,
and them as a group, when we have our monthly meetings, we need to figure out what the issue is, cause it's a problem that just keeps getting a little bigger and a little
Yeah.
bigger, so. It's something we gotta work through, and I've been on the internet searching other vendors, other places that, you know, you could go
Mhm.
direct to.
Yep.
And then that might be an option, so.
Nothing says we have to use them, right?
No, exactly, there's nothing says we pay a fee
Mhm.
based on our population, and
Right.
whether we use them, whether we don't use them. They're a tool, basically.
Absolutely, I
You know?
mean,
Like I said, some products, there's no problems
Mhm.
moving them, but plastic seems to be the,
I wonder if because of the oil drop.
it could be that, it could be a number of things, you know?
Yep.
So, something will
Right.
change.
always does. Anything else? Mr. Rolo?
No, I'm
Welcome
good.
back to civilization.
Thanks. No, I'm good.
How about you, sir?
Well, I just have one thing, we were talking about the Boston Post King.
Yep.
And I had mentioned that historical awareness could probably get involved with it, and I guess I misstepped, cause I found out what the mission statement is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't fit into their mission statement, so I guess, the way it's going is the way it's gonna go, and, I
Allison,
apologize to those people, cause,
Mhm.
trying to put responsibility on someone that already has their hands full with the things that they do have to do.
yeah, yeah. Allison did express that she'd be interested in doing it, she just wants to get,
Mhm.
word from Wendy Daly to see if she wants to piggyback, and then I'll bring it to the board next week.
No problem.
Cause we do have the cane back in the building.
And again, researched communities that do it, and they all have a different method of how they get it done,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so I guess it
Well,
doesn't
this
make
was
much
kind
of
of
a
a
difference.
fun way to do it, if they involved the school, they put the little boxes up and they have little forms and you have minimum criteria and they can fill it out and then they just look through those forms and count them up and see which.
Do you know that to some of those kids there, we look old? And I don't wanna get a cane.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not ready for that yet.
No,
You need a candy cane.
no, I'm not ready for that either.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right.
Actually, I have the luxury of being the youngest one at this table.
Really? Good for you.
You sure?
Yes. Yes, I am. I may look old, but I'm not that old. Oh dear. Anyway, well then, nothing else?
That's it.
Open public comment then. Leo?
No.
Nothing? Woody? We'll close public comment.
Oh.
You have nothing else on the agenda, gentlemen? I'll entertain a motion to go home.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion second, you get that? Clark, all in second?
Bob motion, Tom second.
Gotta find where I
All in favor?
Alright, made a motion, who made, Brian made it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Bob.
Bob, okay,
Yeah.
you're going too fast for me. Motion to adjourn at what time?
I got 9:03.
And
Tom seconded.
Tom second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.